So you're trying to start or grow a pooper scooper business, and you're thinking to yourself, should I offer free services or discounted services to grow my business to get more customers? We've all been there, we've all done that. My name is Erica Crouppen, and I am the owner of Crouppen's Poop Scoopin'. This month, I have been in business for 7 years, and I've been able to grow my business from $0 to 6 figures. So over here on the Scoop Start channel, I am teaching exactly that, the beginner basic stuff to help you grow your business. And in this video, I want to talk about the pros and the cons and my thoughts on offering discounts or free services. So if you're interested in hearing all about that, stay tuned. I started my pooper scooper business with a bucket, a rake, trash bags, and some bleach. It was very, very humble beginnings because I didn't have a lot of money to get started. I didn't really know much about anything when I started my business. I just knew I wanted to start a pooper scooper business and I wanted to make enough money to leave my hospital job. What was that going to take? Customers. And how was I going to acquire those customers? I was going to use my marketing channel, which was Facebook, because it was free, and I was going to let everybody know what I was doing, who I was, and how much it was going to cost. And I decided I was going to do one-time cleans, spring cleans, whatever you want to call them, for $50. 50. You're getting a clean, you're getting a clean, everybody's getting a clean for $50. I didn't care how many dogs, size of yard, or how far away these yards were. $50. And then for the folks that wanted to continue with weekly service, I charged them $55 a month. You might be like, did the math say $55 a month? Is that what your operating costs were? I didn't know what operating costs were back then. My favorite number's 5, so I picked 50 and 55, and those are my prices for a good year to a year and a half until I realized some things. But we'll talk about that later. So essentially, I was offering discounted rates before I even realized that I was offering discounted rates. And having my prices lower and offering specials allowed me to get high volume of customers and learn a lot. I was able to get those Google reviews. I was able to gain experiences. I was able to track the data to let me know how long does it actually take to clean a 1/8 of an acre, 1/4 of an acre, a full acre. How long does it take me to scoop a yard that has 1 dog versus 4 dogs versus 5 dogs? So while I was doing all of this, I was collecting all of this information so I was able to figure out my prices moving forward because I knew I needed to raise my prices. I knew that I didn't want to be the bottom of the barrel company. I knew I wanted to grow a big brand. I already knew in my mind I wanted to have hot pink vehicles, have a hot pink fleet. And I didn't know how expensive all that was going to be, but I knew that that was going to be way more expensive than a Vistaprint magnet. Back then I was charging $13.75 a yard. And I remember buying a box of cards, business cards to hand out, and it was $100. How many yards did I have to scoop to be able to pay for that $100? A lot. A lot more than how many needs to be scooped now. Having these lower prices worked perfectly for folks that want to pay lower prices. They're like, yep, I'll pay you. I'll pay you $13.75 to come scoop my yard, but I definitely won't pay you $28 to come scoop my yard. This is what my prices got up to. And guess what? People pay it. It allowed me to gain that experience, but it also allowed me to get into some yards that were unfavorable. It allowed me to get around people that necessarily couldn't afford the service. And I learned a lot about not getting paid and collecting a deposit up front. But that took a little bit to learn. So it's low barrier to entry. We're moving, we're grooving, we're able to get into more people's yards, we're able to gain this experience, we're getting our name out there. And then also it allows us to fill up our schedule during slow seasons, during slow time. When you're just getting started in business, it's slow. So you're wheeling and dealing. You don't care. You're just like, okay, I'll give you a discount. I'll give you a discount. Sounds good. You want to pay me this? Sounds good. I just want to acquire customers. And this will allow you to acquire customers a lot faster. It'll keep you busy. Hopefully it'll keep your bills paid. And you can offer these lower prices in exchange for things, right? You can get Google reviews. You can get photos. You can get testimonials. You can get referrals. You can get word of mouth. You can leverage a lot of a lot of the lower prices, but you have to be super intentional with it and be strategic. So make sure if you're offering a free service or if you're offering a discounted service, there has to be a reason behind it. And just getting more customers, I don't think is a good enough reason. There has to be a catch, in my opinion anyways. When you offer a discount or a special, you can say it's limited time. The first 5 people that comment under this can get a discount. That creates urgency, right? And who doesn't want a good deal? I'll tell you who doesn't want a good deal. The customers that are more focused on loyalty than bargain shopping. You don't find loyalty in the bargain shopping aisle. You are only as valuable as your prices to that customer. So that's something I really want you to think about. When you offer discounts, you're training your customers. I heard this phrase, how you get them is how you keep them, right? So if you're always offering discounts, you're training your customers to know that you are worth 10% less than what you want to charge, or you're 20% less that you want to charge, that you're willing to come to their house for free with the absolute hopes that they will do something for you. Hopefully, they'll give you the Google review. Hopefully, they'll tell their friends and family. Hopefully, they're gonna sign up for that weekly or bi-weekly service. Please, just sign up. I'll give it to you for free. How many times have you been burned by that special? You're attracting the wrong people. Like I was saying earlier, you're attracting the people that want a bargain. They are shopping you for price. They don't care about anything else. They just want the service done at the cheapest rate possible. So even if you do an excellent job, somebody comes along that's cheaper, they're going to get rid of you because they found another company that's going to do it cheaper. And like I said, loyalty does not lie in the bargain aisles. When you're offering discounts, your margins are going to get squeezed. And I realized that when I started hiring staff, because that's when I really realized that my prices were not set up to handle paying staff, paying those taxes, paying the insurance, paying the workman's comp. I didn't have the infrastructure. I didn't have enough margin in order to pay them. I was just paying them, and then I was like, wait a minute, I don't have any money. But that was okay because I was still working at my hospital job. But I knew my goal was to leave the hospital, replace that income, leave the hospital, be able to pay for healthcare, and be able to max out my retirement. Those were my non-negotiables. And with offering like lower rates and offering discounts, that's when I was like, whoa, this is going against what my goal is. This doesn't make sense anymore. And I really think that the discounts all the time really undermine your brand. If you want to be known as the company that has the cheapest rates, nobody can be cheaper than you, then that is your brand. Later on though, when you want to change, when you're like, wait a minute, I don't want to be the cheaper brand anymore, it's going to be very difficult for you to change that brand because that's what you've built it upon. Myself and William and Levi from Poop Scoop, they have built their brand to be much bigger. Like my brand, we're great with customer communication. We're gonna show up. We have a positive attitude. Our staff is background checked. They're happy to show up to work because they're making great money. And when you have the cheapest rates, you cannot pay your staff great money unless you have another business that's helped cash flowing your scooping business. So when you're looking at other businesses that are offering $10 a scoop, $7 a scoop, $12 a scoop. You have to understand what's going on in their business, and you don't know, you won't see that kind of stuff. You won't see the owner that is super stressed out because they can't work themselves out of the field, because they can't have an operations manager that costs them $50,000 or $60,000, because they don't have that wiggle room built into their pricing. So here's what I suggest, okay? When you are doing the discounts or you're doing the free service, make sure they are super strategic, okay? I wouldn't lead with that. Instead, lead with value offers. We send the closed gate photos. We have the strong communication. Our staff is background checked. You could offer a complimentary deodorizing spray with each service or every other service, however you want to work that in. You could give a small gift to each reoccurring customer that signs up with you, like a cookie or some dog treats or a handwritten note. Something that gives value, something that creates a wonderful experience for the customer. And like we had talked about earlier with being strategic with the discounts, be very upfront. Say, hey, listen, you don't have to be aggressive like this, but something along the lines of like, do you want to hire a pooper scooper, but you don't want to pay full price? I have a special deal for you, but this is only a 3-month special. For the month of June, July, and August, you will be able to get your services for half off. We're really slow in the spring. We're really slow in the summer. So this would be something that I might actually do just to keep the staff busy so they can get their hours. Or here's another discount. To the first 5 customers that share this post, they will get a complimentary one-time cleaning. You could also just be super transparent and just say, hey, listen, these are our slow times of the season. I'm looking to get 10 new customers in this specific city. I'm offering this deal, this special between this time and this time. So reach out if you are looking for services for less money. To wrap all this up, I'm not against discounts or free services, and I'm not for them. It's just that you have to use them at the right time, and you have to be aware of like what you're doing and what the cost is to the business versus what you might gain. As long as you play the game right and you are tracking the data and you don't just try to be the bottom of the barrel and just essentially be a race to the bottom for the industry. Don't do that to yourself, and please don't do that to the industry. But I understand when you first get started, it's tough. You're trying to get stuff figured out, but set a time frame. Okay, I'm gonna do it for 6 months. I'm gonna do it for 3 months to gain the knowledge, to gain the experience, to gain the reviews, to gain the awareness in the industry in your city. But please don't be that person that is the race to the bottom. Don't devalue yourself, don't devalue your business, and don't devalue the industry as a whole. I hope this video helped you. If you want more in-depth information, please go check out the Poop Scoop Millionaire community over on School. And if you want to continue your education and you want to learn from somebody that has grown a 7-figure pooper scooper business, go ahead and click one of these videos from Justin.